I'm just looking at chat.
I ain't got my keep turning it anyway.
What's up?
Hey guys. Oh,
Hey, I'm
here.
I'm here with the clone. So I'm interviewing, and I just want you to know, I don't see a scar, but I did ask him
That is hilarious.
about what he was planning
don't
in
expose
the
me.
10 years.
I didn't have. I'm
He didn't have a very good answer for what he
So it's
where
not
he
that
saw
good.
himself in 10 years. So, there could be some. I'm just saying. Remember what I said about Illuminati and stuff. Just be watching for them signs.
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's been good. You know what? It's I don't know. I guess guys, I'm not a clone. I'm not. This is me.
Isn't that exactly what a clone would say?
This is exactly what a clone would say. So I don't know what a non-clone would say. A non-clone would not have to say that he's not a clone or whatnot. So and whatnot. But man, before we got on the before we were kind of decided to real quickly just talk to the people. You were talking about the whole white privilege and whatnot, and I just thought it was phenomenally put what you said over there, and I don't know if there is like any way that can be, but just the gist as far as
I don't know. We'll have to kick it off another time. Just do a stream on it as a topic, because that's a deep subject right there.
It
so
is.
There's so much. It's a.
And hi, Bowers. I'm back. No, I'm not dead or anything or
He's
nothing
here.
like that.
He's here. Look.
Hi, this is
He's here.
real. Lone child.
Look. See, I'm moving his hat. So
Hey,
you don't
alright.
think I somehow
No.
I somehow am superimposing him here, like the telephone recording we did last night. So they said that was a recorded conversation. That the phone call was
Wait,
fake.
the one that
Last night, when you called in, they said that phone call was planned.
You are a better editor, better than me. They're better than me. If you did that,
If I was able to act that out,
you would not need it ever. You need to be working for Hollywood. That
I
is
know.
too good. You're wasting.
I was like, there's no way I have that amount of time on my hands in order to
insane.
script, edit, program, and act. I would have to rehearse every line and anticipate question. I know.
Oh gosh. So
I'm not saying it's not possible, because I've seen those conspiracy theorists. They be talking about some
that's ridiculous.
madness, some
That's
craziness. Oh.
So I was a guy I was looking for. I was going to address drama if he came on your stream. Yeah, or
I know, we did this for you, Drama. You can see that.
Put it
So
out
that,
there.
because Drama says that I've been right the whole time, that they're done, we're never going to see them together again. Sorry, man. Sorry to snap the troll.
he was. He's like, because I've been looking at his stuff on Twitter.
You got him on Twitter?
No, he shares stuff, and I get tagged on it. So when you get tagged on it, it shows up. You get a notification whenever anyone posts anything on Twitter, and you tag it, then you get a notification. So I've been looking at some of his stuff. I'm pretty sure he's one of my followers, but
Stalker.
He's
lurking right now, so we'll see the dislike pretty soon. I'm looking.
So
Oh no, I can't see it from here. Usually you get that. I'll see that thumbs down, and I'll be like, "Hey, Drama, what's going on?"
How are you? Where have you been? I've been God, what could you call that? Should I call it a retreat?
He was in the wilderness.
I was in the wilderness. Oh, that.
In the wilderness.
God uses you to get us through coronavirus quarantine. Yeah, he's not a Corona channel no more, but yeah.
I'm not a Corona channel no more. What's a Corona? That's not news no more. Corona's not news no more.
That's funny how all of that, with the protests and riots.
Nothing about Corona. There's like the little thing in the headline at the top that says, "For more info on that thing that was Corona, you can click here."
Ain't it weird?
If you're still living in that fear, because now we have the other fear that we're feeding you. So If you want to live in that one fear that was last week, then
and it's so crazy because it just shows how. But people, they swear up and down, no, you guys are the murderers. No, this is serious. And like, you know, I know like people like myself and you, like, no, we're going. There's been an overhype of fear. You know, there's going to be something else. We were saying it from the beginning, like. Now there's something else. First people was Corona, wear your mask. But now, oh shoot, let's go out and riot. And those same people, it's funny because I can promise you, those same people that were screaming, that we should be stay inside, stay safe.
Stay
They're
home.
out there looting.
Yeah, probably, right?
They're right out there protesting.
Y'all need to be quarantined. The only reason I say that unemployment payment that they're getting for Corona is more money than they make at work. So they're trying to drag this quarantine out so they can keep getting paid.
It is, and then there's this second stimulus that's only hurting businesses.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but it's Corona.
That was the thing I thought was funny. Ah yeah. So yeah, I've been good. We've been good. So I said, I thought you guys were done. Don't you can't listen to that stuff, man.
If you didn't hear it from us,
no.
Then it's probably a lie. Always get the information straight from the source, man. As much as you possibly can. I don't think either one of us ever said anything about being done.
There was some stuff to go over. Okay. Well, no, I like and that's something that like there's always things as far as how can I explain it? Just saying, admit there was something that was going on, something internal, but you know, there's always, you might can explain it better than what I'm getting my thoughts. There are always things
Took a break. Took a time out. He put himself in time out.
I put myself in time out, man. The evil isn't
just
prejudice.
You know, once in a while there's something to be said for slowing down, cutting the cord, so to speak, and unplugging and just getting your head straight, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that.
Right. And
a lot of us need to do it a lot more often.
All that verse you showed me is that stand still. Such a good one. It's in the still. It's in Psalms, the one that you brought up.
Be still and know that I am God.
Be still, man. And,
be still and know that I am God. It says that, you know, if you want to know God, you need to be still. It means you have to still your mind. You have to stop. If you want to know God, if you want to get to know God, you have to stop. You have to be still.
And guys, I was on this I was just on this cycle of I was just rolling like 100 miles per hour night and day. And sometimes you're cycling so much and you lose vision and you can't hardly see. You end up crashing at one time. But you know, once I kind of stopped and I could see some things that I needed to pinpoint on to make things sharper, to make things better. Man, Eunice, you always donating, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Volley, what's up, man? Been a while. How have you been? I've been great. I've been great, man. I've been great. Hey, we're making some changes in schedules and whatnot as far as the upload schedule. The yeah, I mean we talked about that. Speaking of which, I was gonna say, is Devolve done?
We talked about a lot. No, Devolve's not done. Devolve's going to evolve.
It's not only that, but let me tell you.
It's going to grow.
I'll show you. Like I have been so I was so serious about Devolve and really pushing it, just to let you guys know and letting you guys see you on live here right now. But I told Dave, I told Dave kind of off camera. I said, hey, really pushing to evolve that channel. Has a massive potential, and I want to focus. That's a passion of mine. It's elementary and teaching and whatnot, and I'm going to pay for the equipment. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to give you $100, and this is what we want. So you know what? Right now, that way you guys can see we're serious about Evolve. Devolve is not going anywhere, and there are equipment. There is equipment.
Oh, nothing about no money.
So we're getting it. Like I've been 100 serious about what I want to do and where I want to focus.
There's an African American man here. He's trying to take my $100.
Right.
He's taking my life.
Right. Because the SWAT's gonna come busting through the window.
the Central Park lady,
The Central Park lady.
I'm sorry, I did. It just
She weaponized. I know you all seen that.
she weapon. That's how we started. That's how we got on the subject of white privilege. Was we were talking about that lady weaponizing white privilege.
Yeah.
She weaponized her privilege.
She weaponized white privilege, and a lot of people, and they try to act like it's not a thing. And you know, she's like, and she told the black guy, she told him what she was going to do and what she was going to say, and it was almost as if like she knew her privilege, and she's like, and there's nothing you can do with it. I dare you. You know what's gonna happen. Like, you know how the society feels about me. You know how the society feels about you. So it was a threat. And those words, her very words, was a threat. She used her white privilege to threat. Like, don't make me use my white privilege on you. That's what, like, your mom used to say, don't make me get y'all.
And before any of you start going crazy about what is or what is not white privilege, what she used is exactly what white privilege is. What she was using to threaten it. It's exactly. I mean, that is the best. I mean, that's how we got on the discussion, was because I mean, I've been to equal opportunity school and stuff, and I've had training and everything, and it took me a while to actually realize what was meant. And it's not a racist thing, and it's not about economic privilege. It's not about anything else. It's about just how society views different people. And, you know, the thing about it is, the first thing you've got to do in order to fix something is identify it. You have to identify the problem, and then you can start working towards a solution. So we have to identify this problem. And there's so many different things that go into what constitutes the privilege. But what she did in the park, she summed it all up in one outrageous outburst. How she identified, and she's probably one of those people that'd be like, I've never been privileged. I don't know what privilege you're talking about. You know, like our New Year's Eve guest.
Yeah. Oh God. And you know, but the biggest argument that, you know, all the white, it's like, man, I've been poor. I've been down in the ghetto. I had to go through stuff that even black. I had to work for mine. Show me my white privilege. Hey, let me cash that in. I haven't ever had to cash that in. And like you said, that's not white privilege. You know, you have these privilege and you don't even know it. It's just the sake of, and I always say it's not a racist thing. It's not being mean or mad or bad, but it is there. I mean, take for example, just a few weeks, my house. I'm sitting in front of my house, outside. I'm sitting in front of my house outside, and you know the cops are patrolling the neighborhood, riding, and he stops and he sees me out in this front yard because I got a nice little size house. And he's like, he wanted to make sure that, you know, I wasn't robbing or whatnot. He's like, hey, everything all right? I was like, why you ask me that? And I was like, yeah, everything's good. He's like, you sure everything's good? And he put his hand up and he's looking around, you know, wanting to see if I'm gonna run or whatnot. But he wanted to make sure that it was my house, like, and. Have you ever had that to you working in your front yard?
No, never happened to me.
And it happened to me.
I'm out there all the time.
And it happened to me twice. That was 2 times in 3 weeks. You know, I was leaning up against my car, and this cop, he came out, and he just 2 weeks ago, and he came up in my driveway. He's like, sir, everything okay? I was like, hey, can you back out of my driveway? There is no reason for you to be walking up in here. I mean, and have any cop just decide to randomly stroll, walk up, and
just no.
That's
just no.
It's things like that. You don't.
But it's yeah.
And rather you were. And let me ask you this: that never happened to you. Did you grow up in a fancy neighborhood? Where did you grow?
No,
you had to.
I grew up in L.A.
Yeah. Oh shoot, that's the home of the biggest homeless, crisis.
Yeah, I grew up in
Was things hard? Was you rich?
Yeah,
Was
no,
you rich?
no, we weren't rich. I mean,
Okay.
we did okay, I guess. We had food on the table.
Okay, and
I had my tough guy pants and stuff. And
yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like you can say you can't you, although you grow up, just maybe as hard as me, and you grew up in a harder neighborhood. I mean, Maryland was, where you grew up, like I know that place, but even with that, you still got the privilege of not having to worry about cops coming up in your driveway.
No, I had to go out and
there.
get. I was very good at getting the cops' attention myself when I was a kid.
Like,
so.
it's unknown. Like you have it. Like it's not a substance. It's not the substance. White privilege is not the substance of things. It's the society impact of. It's not a substance of things. I can. Something was coming to me, but I'll finish it. But I just know that it's not the substance of things, but it's this society visual impact of things and how it views you. It's the society viewing of you that makes an impact. The society views you, your color, and it has that impact. It's a society impact.
Yeah, it's our way of, as a society, our way of thinking. It's like if I was in a suit walking down the street, you would see me as oh, he's probably selling something, or he's probably Jehovah's Witness, or preacher or minister or something walking down the street. And the same, if you've seen this guy in baggy pants with the white T-shirt with the what do they call that, a do-rag on, walking down the street, you're going to think, okay, well, he's probably not a minister. He's probably not a Jehovah's Witness. He's probably not a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
So that's the concept of white privilege. It is a matter of how society views certain people a certain way. And it comes down to the point where people will view people a certain way. It's not necessarily racist, but it's just how people view people. It's like I said, until we identify it as a problem that needs to be fixed, then we're never going to be able to fix it.
And I know some of my white fans are on the side of, I can't believe you talk about this. I don't have that privilege, but I'm giving you example after example, just trying to explain it's not a substance of things.
It's like the loan officer thing. Like if me and him go into apply, we both have the same credit, the same, everything is exactly the same except for the way that we look. We both go into a bank to get a loan. So everything comes out exactly the same, but it's it's kind of wishy-washy whether we should get the loan or not. And the loan manager, it's basically left up to him whether it's on his call whether we get the loan or not, which happens a lot, by the way, when it comes to getting loans. So he's going to make that judgment based off of who we are. And what white privilege is that more times would the white person receive the loan approval than the black person would. Not necessarily every time, and it may be not 9 out of 10 times, but it's going to be more often than it would not. And it's not a racist thing. It's image. It's how we're programmed as a society. It's a societal thing. And it doesn't say, I'm not saying it's anything bad on the loan officer. It's not anything bad on anybody in the situation. It's just the way that it works. And until we identify that, we can't make it better. We can't heal it. If you don't know what's broke, if you don't know what's sick, you don't know how to heal it.
Someone said something interesting. They said, it was the African Americans that had made it a derogatory bad term. It's because of blacks had made white privilege seem as a bad term. They were ones.
Oh yeah, because they're just as ignorant to what it actually is as the white people who argue that I grew up in the ghetto and I had to work for everything that I got and all that stuff. And that's not what it's about. They're not talking about privilege. They're talking about a form of privilege, but they're not talking about what it means by white privilege or what that academic term is. The terminology white privilege isn't just saying that you're you're privileged with stuff because you're white. It's a term that's referring to how society in general will view you and interact with you because of your skin color.
It's a
and we're evolving away from it, but we just haven't got to that point yet. I mean, if in its extreme case would be back in the 40s and 50s when the civil rights movement was going on, and even people that weren't racist at all and weren't part of the discrimination and the persecution of blacks back in the civil rights era, even they were still, they still would view African Americans in a different way than they viewed their counterparts or their racial. And we're just moving away from that, and I think as a society we are eons beyond what we were in the 40s and 50s now. I mean, which is great. And I think we're evolving out of it, but it still exists.
Right.
A lot less than now than it did then, for sure. But
and even like more examples even of us. I mean, like, have you ever had to go to a restaurant and sit down in a restaurant and you and you order your drink, and they ask you, hey, what you want to drink, and you order a drink. I don't know, maybe you order something exotic, say cranberry juice.
Something exotic.
Something exotic, and they say, hey, sure you want that? That's gonna cost a little bit more. Have you ever, or have they just gave you the drink?
They just gave me the drink.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's exactly white privilege or not.
They just gave, well,
that's more. I don't. Yeah. But that's true. That's a good example of it.
Another thing, I'm constantly giving examples, but yeah, I was at a restaurant with them, and they got him his drink, and then it got to me, and they're like, and what do you want? And I was like, I think a cranberry, and there was no questions asked with them.
I think I ordered a beer, and I think my wife ordered a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And there was no question. They weren't like, hey, wine is more expensive than water. None of that,
God. And then when they got to me and you, and they were like, sure you got it? I'm dead serious. Like, this is some of the weird.
I didn't even catch it. I remember at the time. I didn't even catch it at the time. I was talking or whatever, and then I just kind of, whenever she came to take the order, I kind of started looking at the menu, and then I heard it, but I wasn't really paying attention. And then he said you were like stealth racism or something like that, right? I was like, and then it clicked. I was like, what in the hell was that, man? What was that?
It's funny, man. We deal with it.
So it's been a joke for 5 years now.
It has, but it's still so relevant
because he still loves cranberry juice. So.
I do. That's
so my wife will go buy cranberry juice at Albertsons, and I'll be like, dude, Lou got paid today, man. We got some money. We got you some cranberry juice.
Oh shoot!
Because we rich now. We got cranberry juice.
Oh man. So yeah, that's what it is, man. Like all's well. We'll be getting those episodes. The Evolve. There won't be as many episodes there, but I encourage you guys to go subscribe to It's Elementary and the Evolve.
Little Devolvey.
Little Devolvey.
Lil Devolvey. I just looked at it this morning because somebody was like, "Oh, Devolvey's gone," so I was like, "Let me go look at my subs," and I'm like, "Nope, he's still there."
He's still there. Like that was never.
And I just saw him this morning.
Yeah. If God was racist, He wouldn't have created
a rainbow.
The colors in the rainbow stay together and don't divide. So we should.
That's beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
Really good.
That's beautiful.
That's good. Yeah, and just treat people the way you want to be treated. Yeah, those old school principles. Denzel said in an interview years ago, look after your house and stop blaming everyone else.
That's a good point as well. That's what Thomas Sowell, basically, he preaches that a lot too. And that's true. I mean, it's really, here was an interesting statistic I think Thomas Sowell said. I'm not going to get the numbers exactly right, but I'll get them pretty close. So the chances of a white person ending up in poverty is like 12.5% or something like that. So 12.5% chance of a white person being in poverty. Black person being in poverty, the chances are like 23%. So it's like more than 10% difference. But the chances of a married black person being in poverty is 9%. So if you're a married black person, you have less chance of being in poverty than white people.
Oh.
It's significant because it comes down to the importance of the family structure. That's what it comes down to. Is the people, when you place the family structure as a priority, then you're less likely, you're more likely to strive to come out of that poverty. So I think that's what it's speaking to, is the importance of the family environment.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. And yeah, I think the whole thing that, and I talked a little bit about it on your podcast, the only thing that annoyed me was, not the only thing, but throughout this situation is people hate the, not just so much that they didn't want to acknowledge that the white privilege is there, but then we discourage the whole, people hate the Black Lives Matter, that hashtag, that whole thing. And
yeah, that's just, I tell you, that's why I wanted to do the show on the media this morning, is because the...
Oh, did you hit on that? Did you hit on that?
I didn't hit on that. I was talking about how the media's purpose seems to be division. Like they want to keep us divided. Like CNN has their base and Fox News has their base, just like the Democrats have their base, Republicans have their base. It's like all the politics and media is all designed to keep us divided. It was like as soon as they designed a movement that said Black Lives Matter, okay, now it's this, now we have to have a be for or against it. And it's like, why do we always have to be for or against something? Why can't we just acknowledge it?
Yeah, and people say, you don't see white people saying white lives matters, that your whole movement is racist in itself just by saying Black Lives Matters and rethink, and people get super triggered.
When you have
all lives matters.
Yeah, well, when you have all lives do matter, but when you have a certain section of your community that is being, lifted up and persecuted in a different manner than the rest of the all lives, then you need to identify that community and let it be known that all of the lives are considering this part of our group as being important.
Right.
It's not saying, I don't know why people automatically insist that if we are identifying if we're identifying and saying we feel that these people are being unjustly persecuted, I don't care what race they are, but if there's a particular portion of society that seems to be unjustly persecuted, much less murdered by the people in authority that are supposed to be protecting us, to lift them up and say, hey, we love you and we think that you matter too.
You matter too.
I don't really see how somehow people keep making this into something that's a bad thing. Yeah, all lives matter, so why can't you identify that Black Lives Matter? You know what I mean? If you think that all lives matter, then you agree with me that Black Lives matter. Yeah, so why can't you just say that?
Let me ask you, let me ask you, what would Matu say? What would your wife say if she come to you? I want you to say, if she comes to you right now and say, hey, Dave, I love you, dude, I matter, and then you respond back, man, everybody matter. I love everybody. What is she gonna say? That's right.
Everybody matters.
What would be your response?
They're gonna feel very important.
Not gonna feel important.
She'd be like, well, maybe you should have married everybody.
Like, I didn't ask you that. I'm not asking about everybody.
Yeah.
Right now, and it's between me and you.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with us? Like, I'm trying to establish something with you, with us right now, man. It's the same thing I see with. We need Jesus, Tyler said.
Y'all need Jesus.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with the whole essential. Black Lives Matter. I won't go as far as saying, what I seen on Facebook from a friend. He's like, yeah, anyone that argues with Black Lives Matters, they're usually either a Trump supporter or racist. And this is not true.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think it's just people that are
What do you think?
No, they just.
What do you think of this?
People are just
What do you think
argumentative.
of this statement though? They said, not all Trump supporters are racist.
But all racists are Trump supporters.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I actually think the majority of see my thing. This is what I've realized over
This
the
is
past
not
few.
a MAGA hat. Stop
The,
it. Stop it.
the past few weeks, mine is because if we all realize this, then we will make America great again.
Oh.
So just
There you
this
go.
right here. But anyways, the past week or so, I put a lot of thought into this, and I honestly think that, especially when you see these protests, man, there's like, you can see the black people in the protests, but these protests are everybody. You know what I mean?
They are.
It is everybody. It is such a mix of. It shows the true heart and soul of our country. It's just this melting pot of people at these protests, and that speaks volumes to where racism is at in America. And I think it is literally this racism is a minority. The problem is that the minority seems to be the authority. So they're in power, and they have this authority and this power and this control over a portion of our society. And then you have the agendas of the media and politicians and stuff to keep the country divided. And for some reason, they still think it's easy to keep us divided on racial lines, and it's becoming less and less important. So I think I think there is some value to the statement that all racists are Trump supporters, but I honestly believe that the majority of racists are on the other side of that partisan fence, because historically it's been the Democratic policies in our government that have held back and been the most racist policies, including the welfare state and stuff like that. And like I said, research Thomas Sowell and what he has to say, and you'll see why the welfare system and the war on drugs being racist, that's Republican.
Corey say wish he was at your screen because he believes that, I feel like the news and the media keeps racism alive.
They do. The politicians, and I mean, they keep whatever is going to fuel your emotions alive. So I mean, and that's why I was in my stream I did this morning. That's what I was talking about. It's your consumption. So when you're watching the news and stuff, you're consuming this information from these different news channels, and they're feeding on your emotions instead of your logic. There's different sides of your brain, and they're feeding on that emotional side of your brain,
right.
and that's creating the division in the country. If people would just be more conscious of the wording, like you need to be conscious of your consumption. So you need to pay attention to what you're reading or what you're consuming and be critical about it. Realize that they are twisting in the narrative for what they believe in. Whether you're watching Fox News or CNN, those are usually the two biggest differences. They're always at each other's throats and stuff. And you can always tell which one Trump is talking to in his press conferences. When it's like CNN, he's like, "What do you want? I'm not answering that." And if it's Fox News, it's like, "Hey, how are you doing? Oh yeah, it's nice to see you guys. How are the kids? The dog good?"
Yeah, Jesus died for us all, not just for a few.
It's a fact, Jack.
Hey, Rav Wawi, you should subscribe. You would love Dave,
Hey, Matu.
Libertarian Dave's channel.
She said there's cranberry juice in the food pantry floor. Matu fully identifies with her Hispanic privilege.
Yeah, man. So
Keeps cranberry juice on stock.
yes, go to that's there is a Ravawi. Gotcha. Ravawi.
That was cool though. It actually spelled it out for you.
Ravawi.
Like,
yeah, Libertarian Dave, you would love his channel. Like, go check it out. He's with my schedule, you're probably gonna get more content from Dave. What's on your schedule?
I guess Bruno's didn't show up with his mask. So I said
I know
I
they're
said
like sleep
I said
by now.
I said 10 o'clock. It's 3 a.m. there right now.
That's this.
Benzino.
So yeah, man. But I chat. That was like the whole thing there, guys. It was awakening. I guess it's awakening. It's never too late. Never too old.
Nope. Never too old, man.
For something like that.
Oh,
and
and
racism. Okay.
So we had a. So yeah, we didn't go live. I know y'all wanted me to go live whenever Evolve showed up, and so y'all could eavesdrop on our conversation. It was just way too much personal business.
Oh, for sure. Man.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking for a couple of hours now, and it's been. It was just a few minutes ago we actually started talking about different ideas for Devolve episodes and Libertarian Minute. So it's just a lot of personal business. So.
Like to be better people for the people that like look like you all, like that look up and that we in a way kind of serve, not just with the content, but you know, even with Dave with this spiritual growth and with who we are and the channels and the obligations and this vision that has been given and to us, it definitely need to make sure that we are fit now. I am subscribed to you both for good stuff. So
it's a matter of, you know, and I think we worked it out. I mean, things are going to change a little bit. Right. So, and the whole, just know that the whole purpose of, like, I'm probably going to go from 3 days to 2 days a week. But the purpose of that is not because I'm trying to cut content or something like that. But the purpose is that so the quality of the content gets better. I mean, I want to continue to feel anticipation for when I go live. You know what I mean? Like if I have a live stream coming up, you know, I want to anticipate it and feel eager to get on here and talk to you guys. And you know, if I have it, you know, so many times, like doing Friday night and Saturday morning, and you know, it's you know, if you slow it down and condense it and make the live streams more pertinent, then I think you're gonna get much more quality content. You know, I just have to get better at taking notes throughout the week so I don't forget what I want to talk to y'all about.
You said it perfectly, man. When you slow it down, and it's exactly what I did on that cycle. It kind of made a complete stop. But when you slow it down, you can kind of see what you can do to be a better example, be a better even flow of information, and be a better as far as just person in general for the people that are looking. And that's with me. When you're constantly just putting out content, it doesn't seem like an asset. It doesn't seem as sincere, and it doesn't seem like that impact that you can have when you kind of take the time to really look and take the notes and really see what's going on, and that way you can kind of learn the audience and whatnot. I got quite a bit of things that I'm working on with the channel and all that good stuff, so I think it'll be interesting. And all that good stuff, Tyler. I am listening, dude.
Yeah, it'll be. I think it'll be good. I think. It's just about the quality of content, and then it gives more time. It gives more time to work on upload stuff as well, and you know, and both of us have stuff that we're doing in the community.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's a lot. And I'm retired, so I like my me time too. So I mean, so you know, but yeah, there was a lot of things. That's all I wanted to say was that we would have. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. I mean, it was a very inspirational conversation, enlightening and inspirational conversation, and probably one we should have had a couple of years ago.
Yeah. For sure. So. Definitely. But like we said, it's never too late, and only make things better.
God's timing is always perfect. So
There you go. There you go. Yeah, someone in the chat talked about we actually came up with a dynamite one. Like, I think it might be the biggest one yet. First, the minute wise, someone was asking up.
oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. So.
Where you get all the Jesus people in your?
Yeah, I'm getting
chat?
a lot of Jesus now.
Where you got Jesus people
Well,
from?
I started the rap, and I made an announcement before I left, and I told a lot of the rap artists go subscribe to my channel and whatnot, and so a lot of them have been telling their fans, hey, we're gonna be on this hip hop channel and whatnot. So I've been getting like a lot of them.
That's cool.
So it's been pretty funny. It's all part of the transitional plan. We'll see, but yeah, it's weird.
It's good.
Tyler.
Pretty soon you're gonna see the Evolve's gonna have little crosses.
Oh yeah.
Where my?
You guys should
be,
be on a channel together.
over here.
The Libertarian Evolution.
He's gonna have a little cross like that.
That's
the Libertarian Evolution. Oh God. I don't know. I don't know if the Libertarians would like that name too much.
Speaking of which, I'm speaking of evolution because I was talking to one of the council members, one of the city council, Sam Morgan, and I was talking with him. One of the people. There was this guy that was waiting on the outside that was kind of waiting to go in and talk with Sam, and he's a professor at UTEP. He's a professor at UTEP. And he overheard my conversation, and he's like, hey, I overheard your conversation, and can I talk to you? You got 5 minutes? This is when I was coming out, and, I told Sam later, and, I was walking out the door, and he was like, hey, I overheard your conversation and whatnot, and I was, like, doing some research. I was looking you up and whatnot, and he's like, I went through your Facebook, looked through Community Involved, and he's like, hey, you mind? Could I speak with you? They're in my office. They're at UTEP, so I went to UTEP. I was like, yeah, professor and whatnot. And I was like, how's it going? So he's creating a movement. He wants to do, he's seen that's why it was so weird. It was so weird that people were even got this information. But he wants to create, beyond the scene, actually started in El Paso, and he's got, in 3 other states that they're going to do the same because they have this professor group thing, so everyone is doing it on the same day. So far, he's got 3 states, and he's got 3 other professors. They're dressing up. He's leading he wants to lead a silent protest, and he wants to show that, he's going to, he wants the black, he wants the black protesters. They're going to come. He wants us all in suits and ties. He's gonna have all the white protesters. They're gonna be baggy, dressed like really down, scary, hoodie, everything. This is the white protesters. He's making a statement, and we're all gonna go out, hundreds of people. And he's like, and I haven't got so much, but he's like, there's no signs. He's like, there's no signs. There's no chanting. There's nothing. We're just going to be there. We're going to stand. And the community, society, cops, they're going to come out riots and with their riot shields. I'm not going to say a word. Hundreds of us were just there. And it's like there's going to be one big banner. He still was working on the logistics as far as what it was along the lines of who scares you more now? Are you scared? And he's like, you're gonna have police. Who scares you more? And we're all gonna be.
I like to identify your fear.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's still working. Oh, I gotta tell him that. So me myself, I've been very hands on. He needed some help with the black community. He needs some help on my side, so far as some of the creativeness of the daily operation of that day, and just getting families and African Americans. So on my side, I've been working on that and putting out information. He's like, but I want to be behind the scenes, and he's like, I don't want. This is gonna be anonymous. No one's gonna know who did it. No one's gonna know. And he wanted me to help with the Facebook and whatnot. But
Go to
putting
some churches and stuff too.
that's what I'm saying.
Hit
You know, I
up the
never
black
reached,
churches.
dude. I never reached out to a few, so that's my
You reached
part.
out to mine.
I have not reached out to them, and that's why I told
Church
you.
is open tomorrow.
And that's
You gonna go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You can invite me. I should go.
I invited you. I've invited you
should
every
go.
week for, the past year.
I
now,
should
so.
make that jump. When are you? What time you guys leave?
Well, I got to leave super early because I'm on security. Lou will probably be leaving 8:30, 8:45 ish.
8:45.
Yeah, I think
I need to
doors
make that
open.
move.
No, doors
I'm
open.
making a change.
Doors open at 9:30.
If I'm
so.
serious about this.
Yeah, so she'll probably leave about 9. Doors open at 9:30.
So her latest leaving here is 9.
Probably 9. Yeah.
Okay, 9.
And it's.
I should do
I'm
that.
gonna tell her
I'm
to
gonna
be
do
early
that.
though. So be early because I'm gonna tell her to be early because it's first come first serve, and once we hit capacity, he's gonna.
Oh.
I don't see him doing that, but he says that once we hit capacity, he's not letting anybody in. I don't see our pastor saying no to anybody who wants to come into the church though.
So 8:50.
He's probably gonna say.
Figure 8:50 then. But yeah, so it's all anonymous, and that's why I was going to talk to you because I was going to have you and reach out because one of the things that he did say is he does have a little program. It's the,
have all the white people show up with their guns and stuff too.
yeah, and it's like it's like I need ideals. I've been looking at your work and whatnot, and that's when because he was just going to have just the black and whatnot, and I gave him an ideal. He's like, but we have a Hispanics that they have especially in El Paso, they have came out. They are for. They are more.
Did you hear about the guy who got beaten and shot and killed, the unarmed Mexican guy that got beaten and killed in the jail? This cop beat him, took him into a room with no cameras, beat him to within an inch of his life, and then shot him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big thing, man.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I'll
Dang.
Yeah, so a lot of people were like, well, why was there no protests or anything on that? I was like, well, for one, that's the first time I've heard of it. But,
Yeah, I've never heard of it. So that's what dude, I just think that he does have a service, and I had brung you up, and because his plan is for 6 hours, and he's got different people that are donating. That's gonna on the back of their trucks. He's like, we got to get people because I want them to have cases of water. Our black folks are gonna be hot in their suits, but we're out there 6 hours and we want water. We want
6 hours.
Yeah, he's planning on. He has a pro. He has for the first hour is like silence. They're just looking. The second, and then there is a speech. There is a 10-minute. There is a 10-minute speech from someone in the community. You want business owners. I said, libertarians, they are big on freedom and whatnot. I brought up Caleb. I brought up you. I was like, maybe we can fit them in somewhere because it's an hour of silence and then a speech, freedom and rights to the officers and everyone. Then it's another hour of silence and then a speech. Another hour of silence. That's his format. It's so powerful, and I don't like it. Me personally, it has potential, and I'm working on what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on something like that? Like it's never been done. He calls it a protest service. He said we're doing a service. He said Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a march or a type of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a type of.
And he hit on Martin Luther King and.
Not really civil disobedience, but it's exactly the type of thing that, should be done to get attention rather than looting and rioting.
And that's why I was so on it because I am not like I understand. I always said I understand it's like if someone. If I keep punching, if I keep bullying, if I keep bullying your son, if I bully him and I treat him horrible, I bully him, I am going to and then one time you spaz out and you shoot me, no, I don't agree, and I know it's bad for you to shoot me, but I'm gonna understand I understand why you did it, and that's kind of what the protest and the anger, and I don't agree with the looting and the rioting. I understand the anger. I understand
See, I would agree with that if it was
I'm not endorsing it, but there is
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
level
know
of
what you mean,
understanding
yeah.
that there is a disconnect. There's something in our society. There is
Yeah.
this privilege. There is this. I understand the anger, and I understand that people are lashing out. They've been taking from. They feel like, man, they're taking our lives. They're taking this. They're taking that from us. They're taking all of this, and there comes a point where certain people, they don't know how to control it, and it gets to a point. Okay, you take from me, I take from you. Now, some of us, other African Americans like myself, who are a little bit more, have that self-control and we have a little experience on grace and
How
whatnot.
do you explain all the non-African Americans that are out there looting and rioting and stuff?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying,
And
not just them.
not even just African Americans, you're right, but even everyone.
They're the ones that are just doing it to try to get free
Yeah,
stuff.
and I understand, but then there's some that that don't have that control, and they're like, you take from me, I'm taking from you. This is the only way that I can cope with the pain that I am feeling right now, with the pain that I'm feeling, with the society, with the place that I signed up for, that I've raised my kids in, that I pay my taxes just like everyone else, and I'm tired every time, rather it's Floyd, rather it's Amar, or rather it's Amy in the using her white privilege. You're tired, and all right, I want to find a way to take from you. Rather it's your target, rather I don't care whose it is, and they get to that point.
It's a shotgun blast. It's
Yeah.
not really it's not a focused, targeted
It's
attack.
not. That's what it is.
That's the whole point of firebombing buildings and stuff. Is all you're doing is destruction. So all you're doing is lashing out. The looting and stealing, though, is there is a psychology to it. I haven't looked into it very deeply, but there's a psychology to looting and there's a different psychology to looting than there is for rioting. For rioting, where you're just destroying, flipping cars and stuff like that. That's the anger and lashing out and stuff that you're talking about. And the looting is more of a desperation act and the same thing like you're saying is I've been taken from so much, then I deserve this. This is my repayment.
We feel that's the way to cope. Our brains, some of them, sometimes our brains don't know how to cope with the pain and don't know how to react. They know that I can't shoot and kill. I can't shoot and kill you and fight back. So my brain say, hey, this is what I can do. What is at my reach, and it's according to people's reach. I've got a target. I have family out. I got these things. This is gonna hurt you. It's whatever is in their reach, and they feel.
And you get that mob mentality.
Cope with it.
Yeah.
Cope with. Yeah. So man, and I hate argument. I hate the argument, and people use that against me, and they use it against the black community. It's like, well, and because you brought up the Mexican. Well, no one. Well, you guys aren't crying when black people kill black people. I don't see y'all kill each other the most. And the thing is that that's just ridiculous, because anyone that has been raised in the black community, anyone that's been raised in the hood and gangster, they know that we take that very serious, and we do care. I mean, it's a impact, but that has nothing to do with it. If people, if I ever had the time to really talk about under police and over police, people will understand how that is made and became. But that's all. That has nothing to do with that. But that's yeah. So
This we were just talking about interactions with police, and it pays into the amount of incarcerations by African Americans, because let's face it, the more negative or involuntary interactions you have with police, the more likely you are to be arrested or killed by the police. I mean, that's just a reality. And so we were talking. Yeah, so I was like, I would like to look at this statistic and see how many interactions, on average, white people have, involuntary interactions with police, white people have, versus how many involuntary interactions the average black person has. And then so we were sitting here talking a little while. We're like, well, let's do a survey. I was like, for me, I would say in the past 30 years, I've had less than 10. I would say probably about 8. And that includes like being pulled over by the police or having them come to my house for something, being called for something, or being detained for one reason or another. Some kind of involuntary interaction with police. Not like saying hi or, talking to a policeman on the street.
Right.
So, and your answer was...
Oh, yeah. You like, there's like 40 off that. And I'm a good person. Like, I don't, trust me, it's not nothing, but it's just, like you said, interactions. Stuff like the examples I gave you, they come up in the parking lot, hey, wait, is this your house? Or I have a lot of those. So, and it's a bit insane, and that's so telling, dude.
It's just it plays into the privilege, but it also plays into the neighborhoods. It plays into how the African American community views police. And it's we should never be viewing our peace officers. That's what they are. They're called peace officers. We should never be viewing them in a way that is not that you should feel good around them. You should feel safer when a police officer is around. And it's just not that way with a large portion of the African American community. Like if there's a cop that walks up and stands next to a lot of African Americans, chances are that person, the African American person, is going to walk away. White person be like, whatever, I'll stay here and hang out with you. I don't care. But you know what I mean? So there's this mentality. It's a cultural, societal mentality about how we interact with police and as police officers. And that has to get fixed. And there's a lot of things that need to be fixed within the African American community too. The fatherless rate of kids and stuff like that. That plays a huge impact into socioeconomic statuses and the chances of kids prospering or going to jail and graduating high school and all these different statistics, the family structure, and there's so many things that can be done within each individual community, but there is a cultural shift that needs to take place within the police departments as well. And that's what I was talking about last Tuesday, was the culture of the police. We could talk about the culture and the degradation of the family environment and stuff like that within any community, but that doesn't stop what happened to George Floyd.
Right.
That was the culture of the police that allowed that to happen. So
there's a difference.
So people can talk about black on black violence. They could talk about how the single parent syndrome within the African American community and the culture, or what do they call it, the welfare, the generational welfare, just basically generations of people that remain on welfare. The problem with that, and how you never will succeed or get out of poverty, and all these different things, but none of that would have saved George Floyd.
You're right.
None of it would have, because it wasn't the African American culture that was the problem in that instant. Yeah, he had a counterfeit $20 bill. Chances are you probably had a counterfeit $20 bill as well.
Yeah.
But the casual murder of somebody in broad daylight on the street is in no way. It's called victim focus. If you think for any way, shape, or form that George Floyd had anything to do with his own murder, you need to look up a philosophical idea called victim focus. They use it in rape a lot. Like if some woman dresses very provocatively and she gets raped, they're like, oh, look how she was dressed. That's victim focus. And it's not a good thing.
It's not.
So yeah, George Floyd is in no way, shape, or form responsible for his own death. The culture of the police community is what's to blame for his death.
Yeah.
And it's not just the guy who had his knee on. I'm talking about the reason I say it's a culture is because the 3 cops that were standing around him didn't say something or do something.
That's a good point.
To prevent that death. It wasn't like he was a solo police officer out there. He had backup. He had others with him. So what is in that culture? What is in that community that silence to those men from not helping a person that was dying.
Shamsi say hi, Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
It's been a while. Yeah, no, it's so telling, and like you said, I didn't even thought about but that does explain, that does prove that there is a cultural acceptance that this is okay. Just the mere fact that is evidence. This is the mere fact that it was like, okay, go ahead, you got your hands in your pockets, you're on his neck, and no one said anything. It showed that
he's just chilling.
Right.
He's just casually murdering this guy.
Such a great point. I've never heard someone, talk, give evidence to.
I mean, and you can't say that. I mean, they knew. Even if they were the crowd was saying, "Let him up, let him breathe. You're killing him," and there was children in that crowd. They interviewed this little girl, and that's what I was thinking was, this little girl, she probably 10, 12 years old. They talked to her and she's seen the whole thing. And then, this is an African American girl, this little black girl. Now, what did we just program into her head going into the future?
Well, George Floyd.
Now we just propagated this fear and of the police in that community.
Did you see his daughter? His little 6-year-old daughter.
Maybe that was her.
Maybe. Okay.
No, I don't think it was her.
No, because this one
she
was,
wasn't that emotional.
No,
I can imagine his daughter would be pretty emotional.
His daughter she was 6, and I guess she didn't comprehend, but she wasn't there. She didn't see it.
She looked a little older. This one.
Yeah, but they interviewed the daughter and the mom at the same time, and it was tough because they asked, "What did you think about your dad dying? How did you hear about the news?" And the mom was like, "You gotta check it out." And the mom was like, "I had to tell her." And how was your dad? And the little girl was like, "He loved me so much." And she was 6. I don't think there was no tears or anything, but she didn't quite comprehend. I don't even think that, it's so weird, but you gotta look at it. She don't even understand that he's gone. He's not even coming back. She is literally.
Yeah, that's the way a 6-year-old would see it.
Yeah, so.
That's Gabriel's age.
Yeah, dude, it was telling and whatnot. The question I was asking you though, to get back, I know you got sidetracked, but the idea of the professor, man. When you think of that, the idea, because I was going to talk to you a bit about it anyway to hear your thoughts, and because like I said, it's building, and he's got 3 states and 3 professors. He reached out to 15 so far, and he said 6 are on board. They just want to make sure they're, besides the 3 that are already getting people doing it, there's 6 more that are just making sure that they have help. And he's like, everyone's on the same day, and that's the plan, but he needs to hear, and everyone's going off of what we do here, the plan. And so
yeah, I think it would be great. Any kind of peaceful protest would be great.
Were you serious about were you serious about the white people actually, those that can still come in with their guns?
Well, yeah, open carry. Have to be, anybody can open carry.
Yeah, open carry.
A rifle. I don't know about handguns. If the open carry of handguns it's not constitutional carry anymore. You still have to be licensed. But,
right.
Yeah, it's still a continued fight to have constitutional carry. I don't know. I don't think it would even be necessary.
No, like I said.
No, I wouldn't want to do that because
That's
because I think it would detract from the focus of the protest would be on the black people in the suits.
Yeah. Great point.
So, but what do you? Yeah, I think so. It would say a lot. So what are you saying that a black person has to wear a suit and in order to not be feared?
He's like the media and this demonstration. Everyone is going to come up with their own. We're not going to say anything, but people are going to see the message beyond. And
same thing I was saying about the title of our minute.
So powerful, man. Oh God, and that's so good. Man. I
just leave it up to the people to have their own. Have their own narrative.
It's so powerful. I don't even know. What do you? Oh, he came over and subscribed, man.
Oh, oh, is that the?
Yeah. And
Ravawi. Ravawi.
Right. So yeah.
Ray.
Right. Your are your thoughts on speaking?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Huh?
I don't know.
There you go.
I could. I guess if I had time to prepare something, then sure, I could get up there and speak for a few minutes.
Yeah, a few. I'm gonna get one every hour.
Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, I would. If he wanted to plug me in there, if he needed a speaker, then I'd get up there and speak.
Yeah, he told me help him get some. He's like, I want people in the community because he's so like he explained to me, like, and that's another thing that I try to explain. Sometimes when you're the have-nots and the haves, they have different people they associate with and know. It's funny because you feel, I guess I call myself a have-not, but yeah, not. But so he it was like you can reach the different people that I need, and the speaker, like he doesn't that's older. He's like 60 some years old. A lot of spunk. Professor, like white guy, and that's what I'm so passionate about it. And it's a white guy. UTEP. And
I wonder if our friend knows him. He's a professor at UTEP too. So.
Oh, who?
Max.
Oh, Max probably know him then.
Oh, he probably does.
He said he wanted to keep it. He said he wants to keep it very discreet, though.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't think I got any pork fest people that watch.
I know,
this here,
but
so.
but that'd be cool. I'm surprised he
They're not
hasn't
going to
reached
stay
out.
on for an hour anyway. So.
I'm surprised he ain't reached out to him. But yeah, so he planned on doing that, and he's like, but first speaking, I want community. I want people that we don't know. People that we don't know but can have a strong voice. And do you know those? He's like, I looked at your voice, like, I don't know you. You have a voice. You should be doing it. And
you should be speaking.
Yeah, I told him he's like, I told him I need to be an early hour, like 3.
He said that early hour. Maybe we get up there and speak together. We can do a little libertarian evolution.
What? That might be better. Might be cool. But yeah, man.
That is
But it's amazing, dude, and like I think
that's a consideration. Might want to think about it, man. Think about the conversations that we have and the interaction that we get.
And then a black and white, and it speaks to what our crowd.
So exactly, and the same thing. You could be in a suit, and I could be in jogging pants and a hoodie.
That's good. Okay.
Like we just come out of the crowd.
Yeah.
You come out of your side, I come out of my side, and just throw up a couple chairs, sit down with a mic, and start talking.
Definitely pitch.
Start talking. Well, I mean, we'll have to. Of course, it will be more scripted than what we do here.
Right, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because we have a limited amount of time, and then, we would want to get on topic, get on subject, get our definite, hit our main points. Mm-hmm. We both have a narrative that we want to send. Yeah. Send home. Whether it's cross communication, whether it's something that I'm saying to the black community or something you're saying to the white community, or
even
both ways,
this skit
or
between each other. Hey, are you scared of me? I'm seeing what's been going on. I mean,
that could be something interesting
there's
too.
Something there, like I enjoy that, like. Never.
Now you're actually doing a skit. Now you're actually thinking of doing
that's what I'm saying.
A skit.
That
like
is
acting
speaking.
something out.
And mind you, everyone is listening. Everyone, these cops, and we're speaking to them. And so the other day, the Cranberry. What? I mean, we are talking about these divides and the difference through just a skit. I mean, we put our thoughts together.
Yeah.
We can really come up with.
Your phone burning up?
Let's burn it up. That's what I want to do. And you remind me. When you said, I was like, yeah, I should get a computer. There's so much stuff when you were saying, hey, you know what? I was going to go to my lot today and I was going to...
Somebody came over. Oh, I was going to go to Best Buy to get...
Yeah,
I'm going to get a...
I was like,
I'm going to get a cord.
I got to get a new phone.
Get an
I'm gonna
adapter.
Get a new laptop.
An adapter for that.
And I had to...
And now I got to take this one back.
And then, and then my GoPro, I needed another... I got a GoPro while I was out on my... I gotta find a retreat and GoPro. It was funny because someone was just selling it. I bought it, and he's like, I don't have the cords, but it works perfectly. I don't even know if it works or whatnot. But I was like, okay, but it looked good, and I don't usually, but I couldn't beat the price. He's like, hey, it's $20. I was like,
a GoPro.
It was a GoPro. He's like, but it works perfect. I would not, and I would never lie to you. I was like, dude, you don't even know me. But I was like, it's worth the risk because if this GoPro worked and I just paid $20, and
that's true.
It's worth it. So like I bought it. It was so funny, but it looks in good condition. But that's my wallet.
So I'm gonna shut this thing down.
Yeah, for sure. I'm shut down.
Keep positive, everybody. Thank you for the clone of the Evolve.
Yeah,
coming on. As you can see, they did a pretty good job in the process. It seems like he's got all of his DNA intact. So
someone on my stream said, "Oh, you don't even have the facial hair." Yeah,
it's pretty accurate, man.
Right.
And it's a pretty accurate job. They got CIA, man. Illuminati's getting pretty good with their cloning techniques.
There you go.
So he's gonna say hi to Eminem for us too, since all those clones they hang out together.
To be honest, I did not know 10 years. I stumbled on that.
So maybe you are a clone because you wouldn't even know. That's what I was saying. Also, you wouldn't even know if you were a clone, right?
I'm not.
You wouldn't think.
No.
You wouldn't thunk it.
All I know is the information that's been programmed into me.
Yeah. So
in the past, so that makes sense.
It's like that Will Smith movie.
Don't know ahead.
Remember the Will Smith movie where they cloned him and the clone had no idea?
All right. That's what's up there, guys. Man, this is it's been fun, and just want to let you guys know all is good. The breaks and whatnot. I know Dave Hill in, but the breaks and whatnot, they're all for the greater good. For all things work together for the good.
That's right. For the glory.
There you go.
Of the one who made us. That's a scripture. I like to end on scripture, so
there you go.
All things happen for the glory of God.
Might be Romans somewhere.
I don't.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not one of those guys. I can't quote. I know. I get the gist of it, right? I don't know the exact scripture off of memory, but I get the gist. I get the idea for all things.
I'm thinking Romans for all things work. Oh yeah, but it's together and it should bring it up. Oh, yeah,
Romans 8:28, and we
cool.
know that God works all things together for good for those who are called according to His purpose.
There you go.
That is awesome. He's talking. I love anything that talks about purpose. So, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called according to His purpose. So seek that purpose that God is calling you for, and then all things will work together for the good of that purpose.
Awesome. There you go.
So there you go. Keep it positive, everybody.
KIV.
Love y'all. Be safe. Love your neighbor, and God bless you all.
That was cool. Yeah. Man, that Roman schedule.